and welcome to the Maven Sports Show. I'm your host, Haven Harrington, joined in the Tunerville Tavern by my right-hand man.
There it is.
I give you my man, Ill Will.
William
AKA.
Wright, y'all. Yes, indeed.
AKA the missing member of Run DMC tonight with us.
The Green Eye Bandit himself.
What's up, Bill?
60-second assassin.
Derby City, stand up, baby.
Everybody's favorite Marine.
I'm going to tell y'all again why I dropped the BTI moniker, Billy the Intern.
Why? Because you got tired of carrying bags in?
Just this past week, these two dudes finally decided to start following me on Twitter. My own henchman delayed about 2 months. Like, all right, I guess. See how they do? Look, that's how they do.
We guess we'll read his 3 tweets.
It's like, oh,
I'm
that's
also
interesting.
joined by a very special guest,
Uh-oh.
Sideshow Bob, a.k.a. Cameron. What's going on?
That's right. I got
Prince Liz.
my son is in the building tonight. That's
Little
right.
Prince.
He's gracing us with his presence, so we appreciate
Nelson
that.
III. How you
You
doing?
know what I'm saying? We got royalty in the building.
Didn't matter yesterday. Money don't matter.
So before we get started, funny story. One of our good friends, Calvin,
Yes.
took a picture of Cameron
Oh,
on
gosh.
Instagram. Was like, look what I found at WLU Studios. I found Prince's son.
I remember this,
That thing
yes.
went viral.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, he had
Prince has a
everybody
son.
thinking that my son was Prince's son.
Man,
Yes.
Hey, it's believable.
It is believable, except he's too tall.
Very believable.
He was actually Prince for Halloween this past year. So,
I can
yes.
see it.
Had the guitar and everything, man.
Well, look, man. Let's go ahead and get to the elephant in the room, man. It's yeah.
Hey.
Is it doomsday for the car?
Is it doomsday
It's a
for the
wrap.
Cards? The Cardinals, coming off another tough loss, snatching a defeat from the jaws of victory,
Rough, man.
up 10 points on Virginia at the half,
Rough.
and end up losing by 13.
No, but honestly, though,
That's another 23-point swing right there.
Don't do that. Why?
but honestly,
Why?
though, this Virginia game was all fool's gold.
Yeah,
Because Louisville hit no twos. Their entire 10-point lead came from 3-pointers and free throws.
yeah.
And you knew they could not keep shooting
Like that in the whole
that
second
high
half.
of a
Yeah,
clip of
yeah.
3-pointers for the whole game. So
We
you knew
hoped
what-
that they could, but we knew better.
Yeah. Louisville had literally one 2-point field goal in the first half.
Yikes.
Like
That's it.
I thought that they were going to set a record. I said I don't think I could ever remember a team only hitting no 2-point baskets for a whole half. Like I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Well, this has been a record-setting year.
It was a weird game. It was a weird game because Virginia, who's a great shooting team, Virginia had 0 threes at the half. Louisville had 10. Louisville had no twos, and Virginia, who never does anything in the paint, had 14 or 15 field goals in the paint. It was a very odd game. For the game, it ended up Virginia 38-4 in the paint points in the paint. Louisville literally only had 4 points in the paint the whole game. And at the end of the day, like you said, Haven, you can't win like that. And people. There's a lot of people.
Right.
My man Ill Will came into the building today asking, is Louisville in the tournament? No. Louisville's going to the tournament. Louisville's a lock for the tournament. I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. Louisville's a lock for the tournament. Even if they lost all 3 of these final 3 games coming down the stretch, they would still get in the tournament. Now, is that going to happen? No, they're not going to
You're
lose.
saying losing 3 in a row and a first round exit in the ACC tournament, they're still in the tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, you would be talking about them dropping to, maybe an 11 or 12 seed.
And that's the difference. You
You talk about a playing game, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
Well, actually, you go from being considered almost a 4 seed
Yeah.
a month ago to they lose everything, then lose the first round of tournament.
Let's not
You're
forget.
talking about like an 11th seed.
Buddy Hield and the Oklahoma Sooners, who was one of the hottest teams to start the season his senior year, lost 9 of their last 10 games going into the NCAA tournament, and they still made it in as an 11 seed. Louisville's done so much work, and they have so many resume wins. That's what they have their house built on, the fact that they beat Michigan State, the fact that they beat North Carolina, the fact that they beat Virginia Tech on the road, they beat Seton Hall on the road. They have enough quality wins to where they're going to make it into the tournament. But it's a rough. It would be a rough ending
This
to
even
it.
further takes my point home that they should have made it to the tournament last year, without question.
I don't think so. I think that their biggest issue last year was they did not have one single win versus anybody.
The problem last year is they had no bad losses, which is good, but they had no big wins. So
again, I brought this up last week.
Had 20
I was
wins.
told they beat a ranked Florida State team. I was told they beat a ranked Florida State team in an away game. I don't know. Y'all tell me I'm wrong, but that's what I was told.
That Florida State team that they beat on the road under Padgett, I believe at the time that they played them, they were ranked. But I don't believe they finished the season ranked. And at the end of the day, I just don't think that they had enough on the resume to get in. Yeah, did they get the 20 wins? Yes, but they just did not have what the selection committee considered a signature victory.
Right.
Well, one win.
Yeah, a quad one
Let's go ahead
win.
and talk about UK.
But you said so. But no, but you know what? And a lot of people have been upset about it, and I'm in the middle of writing an article with my thoughts about what's going on with U of L right now. And the funny thing is, everybody said this year, Louisville's got to get their wins early. Louisville's got to take advantage of a very good month of January. They can only lose maybe 1 or 2 games in the month of January. They only lost 1 game in the month of January, and they said they need to do that because February is going to be a bear. Because you have North Carolina, you have Virginia, you have Duke, you have Virginia Tech, Florida State on the road. Everybody knew that this schedule was going to be difficult in February, but now that it's a difficult month in February and Louisville's 3-5 in the month, everybody's losing their minds, and it's like this is what everybody expected that it would be. Now, but the issue,
maybe at the beginning of the season,
the issue
going into the month of February,
well, I think that because of the win at North Carolina, that got people overly excited for what this team could do and their capabilities.
Well, to me, it wasn't just the win in North Carolina. It was you beat Michigan State. You had one in North Carolina.
No, but it's how they beat North Carolina.
Yeah, but they destroyed North Carolina. But you still saw in those games coming up that a lot of people's expectations changed from where they were at the beginning of the season because this wound up being a much better team.
Right, that's the point I was just making.
Than most people
thought.
thought.
Those were the expectations. At the
Absolutely.
But not coming into the month of February.
Yeah.
But,
and then when you're up 23 on Duke, you're up on.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that makes it people gets upset is that they were up.
Yeah, well, it's the fact that you were up. A lot of these teams you were up late. You was up to like the last seconds of the game. You still could have pulled it out and won these games, but yet you still found a way to lose. And I think that's where Cardinal fans are upset. And I understand because they should be upset because those things should happen. But you have to remember, one, this team really is, I think that they maximize, based on their talent level, they maximize what they can do. And the problem you have here with a team that doesn't have the depth or the talent you would like, when things don't go their way and you have to make adjustments, you can't pull those guys off the bench to make those adjustments a lot of times that need to be made because they're just not there.
Well, King's
not going to give you anything.
In my opinion, and the toughest thing about conference play, especially in a conference like the ACC, is by February, everybody's got plenty of tape on you. Okay, everybody's going to understand what they need to do to defend you. And the problem is this. Louisville came across playing the kings of the conference, Coach K, Roy Williams. Leonard Hamilton's been around for 1 billion years. Jim Boeheim. When you're playing against those guys are good enough to say, okay, even if Louisville comes out and plays well, fellas, this is what we're going to do. We're going to, circle the wagons. We're going to do a couple things different. We're going to come in out of the half, and we're going to do something different. Tony Bennett as well. And what's happened is Louisville has a good enough team and enough talent to be able to have a game plan and execute the game plan and have some success. But the problem is once that other team adjusts, right now I just don't think that Chris Mack has the horses that to have the ability to adjust to those guys' adjustments. They just don't have enough. And I think that's the issue is because you have a team that, A, is not experienced winning at this level and understanding what it takes to win at this level, when things start to go bad, especially against good teams, they aren't good enough to turn that ship around. But the thing is, that doesn't mean that they're not a good team. Like, people take the fact that they lost to Duke and they lost at Syracuse and they lost to Virginia that now they're not a good team. No, I think that Louisville's going to come out there against the competition coming up at Boston College, and they're going to handle Boston College. I think they're going to come out next weekend on Senior Day, Sunday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. on CBS, and they're going to come out there, and they're going to take advantage.
What was that? And then
See,
they're going to go to Virginia
and get tossed up. But
suplexed.
and that's okay. That's
No,
a, that's
it's not.
that's
No,
a, that's
it's never
that's a
okay.
1 seed. I mean, so that's the thing. Is like I think that the context has to be understood that Louisville's playing against really good teams. Like literally every team that they've lost to, they wouldn't see to at least the Sweet 16.
Okay,
Well,
that's
but
fair.
besides that, but the other thing is we talk about they just don't have the talent to make those adjustments to the adjustments.
Yes.
But what they also don't have, and I think this upsets Louisville fans more than anything. See, Louisville fans can understand that, okay, we expected VJ King and McDonald's All-American to be this guy. Okay, he's not that guy. We get that. We understand that. We understand that Perry can't handle the ball. He's going to turn it over. Okay, we get that. We understand that. We understand,
Yes.
we understand that Sutton's going to be kind of sometimey, whatever, but that's okay. We can live with the weaknesses. I think what frustrates Louisville fans more than anything else
Is the
is
bad late game coaching.
is that we can
Let's go ahead
we
and say
can
it.
live with those weaknesses. What we can't live is with the team looking lost, like they have at certain stretches of the game. Like I said, there's like at least 5 minutes in every game where they look like they forgot how to play basketball,
Yeah.
and it happens every game where they just completely forget how to move without the ball, because this is a team with their talent level. They have to play hard and scrappy.
Well, see, but that's the thing,
For
Haven.
40 minutes.
In my opinion, and I'm going to ask you fellas, doesn't it seem to me, in those games, it happened in the Duke game, it happened in the Florida State game, it happened in the Virginia game. It almost seemed to me that when Louisville gets happy and they get excited because they're playing so well and they start slapping each other on the back, they kind of have a tendency to relax for a second and kind of just start going through the motions. And once they start going through the motions, they can't ratchet back up the energy. You know what I mean? Like once they lose it in a game, they can never get it back. And that's been something that I've noticed a lot from this team, even early in the year when they allowed Boston College to come back the first time they played. It really seems like when this Louisville team has that edge.
You mean the Boston College team that you're guaranteeing they're going to be?
Yes.
Yes, those guys.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
it just seems to me, I mean, because Louisville was up 20 in that Boston College game. But the problem is once they take the foot off the gas, they don't have the ability to ratchet back up to that elite sharp level. And that's something that they got to work
Let's
on.
just say this, because you claim to be this guy that's always going to tell it like it T.I. is.
Yes.
There's poor late game coaching going on, very poor. And when the game that they almost lost to was it Syracuse or Clemson?
Clemson,
Right,
because they got blown out by Syracuse.
where they were up about 7 points,
There were 7 points and 14 seconds left.
14 seconds left. Tell them what else happened.
Syracuse hits a ridiculously difficult three. And at that point they're down 4. Then Dwayne Sutton gets tied up on the inbounds pass. I don't really know how that's coaching related. That's just
No. Look,
just standing there.
we're not gonna
But
do
he
that.
gets the jump ball. He gets the
7
jump ball.
points with 14 seconds left.
Yeah. So like I said, so
That's bad coaching.
Clemson hits the 3.
That's
They
bad
tie up
coaching.
Dwayne Sutton. They get the ball back. They hit another very difficult 3, and then Jordan Ward throws the ball away. And everything is up in the air at that point.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know. He didn't coach Dwayne Sutton to stand there with the ball and get the ball tied up. Like I don't know how you coach him not to stand there and let them grab the ball. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Put
get
it to you
that.
like this: if I'm coaching, 7-point lead, 14 seconds left, it's my responsibility to navigate us to that win with 14 seconds left.
But I mean, I don't know what he didn't navigate. How do you navigate not getting a jump ball?
Well, no, at that point, it should be automatically going to win. I mean, at that point, you shouldn't even have to the coach.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I don't understand. I don't understand how can you coach that out of the way. Like I don't know how you tell somebody don't get the ball tied up. Like if Cameron's inbounding the ball, like I'm gonna tell Cameron to protect the ball.
Maybe you shouldn't have him inbounding the ball.
I mean, but Dwayne Sutton is the guy who you would think you'd want. I mean, Louisville fans have loved Dwayne Sutton this year, so I mean that's a guy you would think you'd be able to trust to be able to get the inbounds and make the right play.
23 points under 10 minutes left. you see that lead just continuously narrowing.
Well, no, see, that,
Poor late game coaching.
see,
I'm
this,
sorry.
And this goes back to something Rashawn said. When he said when these guys get happy, they ease
They
up.
get happy and they relax.
Honestly, I don't think they relax. You know what I think it is? You see this happen a lot with guys and teams and stuff that aren't used to a lot of success.
Yes.
That is, they get scared. They get up, they're winning, they're like, oh my God. It's like me being like, I'm terrified of heights. I don't mind being in planes. I could be 30,000 feet up, but don't put me on a ladder that's like 6 feet off the ground. I get terrified. But as long as I don't look down, I'm fine. I'm like, hey, this is not too bad. But as soon as I look down, I'm
yes.
I'm terrified. I'm like, I'm shook. And that's this Louisville team. They get excited. They get up. And they're like, hey, we're being
And they start, they look down to see how far they're off the ground, yeah.
And they get shook because in that Duke game, you could have, I don't care, you could have had Dr. Phil out there trying to coach him up, trying to get them mentally correct. Ali could have resurrected himself from the dead and try to give him a speech in
The rah-rah
halftime.
speech.
Those guys were completely and thoroughly shook. And at the end of games, you can see it several times.
What's up, sir?
Those guys have just been shook.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. I think that there's a lot about that. And I think that, part of that is going to have to be just Chris Mack getting, quote-unquote, his guys in because he likes guys that have a certain level of toughness and a certain level of grit. And I think, the fact that you really only have one true leader in Kristen Cunningham, who's a fifth-year transfer. They are having to start another fifth-year transfer in Quad 4 because, Darius Perry and VJ King turned back into pumpkins at some point and did not become basketball players anymore. I don't know what happened with that.
Were they ever when it was at U of L?
I mean, VJ was pretty good as a freshman. He had a good freshman year.
You and I went and saw VJ when he was in AAU.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
He looked fantastic.
Yeah.
He gets on campus like, who is this dude?
So I mean, and that's the thing is I think there's not a lot of options. It's like pretty much you can have Ryan McMahon in there, but then when he can't defend, it's like one of those things. If you have Quan 4 in there, you got a guy who's a great defender, can't really shoot the ball,
can't score,
can't really make any plays, may turn the ball over, make some silly decisions every once in a while. You can either have him in there or you can have Ryan McMahon who can't really defend anybody. He's not a great ball handler. He's not going to make any plays.
But he can shoot.
And it's like you can't take out right now Jordan Warren. You can't take out Dwayne Sutton because when you do, you have basically VJ that you can go to. And it's just Louisville does not have a lot of options. So when you have so little options, their window for success is just very small. Yeah. And that's what they're dealing with right now.
On a brighter note, we have a message from Miss Becca Bramer that this Thursday is senior night for the women's basketball team from the Louisville Cardinals women's basketball team for Asia Durr and Erica Carter. And they're asking that we come out and have a packed house to celebrate these young ladies. They're doing an excellent job. I believe they're number 3 now in the country.
Yes.
Number 3. So they are, she said that they will be outdrawing 10 of 15 ACC men's teams.
That's right. That's right.
Let's celebrate these young ladies, you all, because this might be, the championship, the only chance that we have at a championship in any sport for a long time.
Look, I ain't gonna let you keep dissing.
Hey, I'm just telling the truth,
you try to throw these little side disses.
I'm just telling the truth, man.
No, you know what?
I heard that Appalachian State picked up Tom Jurich, and they're already building 5 new stadiums that are slated to be ready to go by the beginning of the season.
No, but it is gonna be an end of an era, man.
End of the summer.
Asia Durr senior day. That's gonna be big time.
And I'm in every sport. This might be the last chance of the championship.
He's silly.
In pottery, this is, man, the year of the bird is over.
Nah, it's look.
Until it comes back around
at the end of the day, yes, the women are the bomb. They're going to get a 1 seed. They're going to be playing in Louisville for at least the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament.
Ladies, you all deserve it.
This happening, absolutely.
Putting in the work.
But for the men, you know what? Everybody, I cannot, and this is not snark. This is not. I'm not being silly when I tell you that every time I watch Louisville play and I watch how Chris Mack coach, it gets me excited for where the direction that Louisville's in because he just needs once he gets the talent in there and he gets his people in there, he has these boys right now playing and competing against the best in the country. Louisville has seen out of the 10 teams that are ranked in the top 10 right now, Louisville has seen 8 of those 10 teams. And in those games, outside of Kentucky, they have stood toe-to-toe with all those teams, even though they are extremely short-changed and
The
underhand.
only thing this team really needs, they have
need a
one
hug.
killer on this team.
This team needs a hug. They need a blanket. They need some type of support animal. they need a service dog. This team needs
They just
a lot.
need to win. They need to go out there up on the road to Chestnut Hill, and they need to go get a win at Boston College. If they can go out there, get that win, and then come home for senior night next Wednesday against Notre Dame,
And do it again.
on Sunday against Notre Dame, then I think all will be right. They'll be good to go. I mean, the Virginia game, it is what it is. We understand what's coming up with that, but they just need to win. Take care of the business you do. At that point, you're 11-7 in the ACC.
Right.
And coming into the season, considering Louisville was picked 11th in the conference, to finish
Hey, I'm gonna
11-7.
tell y'all what, if y'all can win
that's
these
huge.
next 2 games, y'all should ask Virginia if y'all can play them online or something, or play them on the joystick. Don't even play them, man. I mean, save that energy for the tournament, man. Ain't no sense in doing all of that. Ask them if y'all can play online or something, man. Or,
honestly,
thumb wrestle or something, man. Just
if this Louisville team had one more ball handler or one guy that could create his own shot,
Darius Perry.
that would make all the
It's
difference.
Darius Perry.
Okay, it's not him.
Darius
So,
Perry. Well, no, I'm saying that Darius Perry
It
was the
should
guy.
be him.
Yeah.
It should be him
I
or
mean-
BJ. Should
no,
be
I know the point guard that they should have without question.
Who's that?
Mark Jackson.
No.
That'll be it.
I think he's out of eligibility. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey,
Maybe just a
he
little
is a
bit.
point guard. And he would be very valuable to this team.
No, but seriously,
in
though,
some capacity.
If this team had that guy that created his own shot, they would be so much better. It would not be funny,
absolutely.
but they don't. And
No.
How did my man McMahon do in the game?
First half he was on fire.
Ryan was on fire in the first half, but it's one of those
They
things
solved
where
the riddle quickly.
Virginia made some adjustments. Louisville didn't. They started to get away from the things that helped them get that lead. And like I said, it's just one of those things. When they have the edge, once they lose that edge, they can't get it back. They did not play the same.
Yo,
I was sitting right
Chris
next
Mack, if you
to my
hear
man Lachlan McClain, who's an avid Virginia fan, and sitting there watching him throughout the game, sitting there talking to him, and he's like side-eye cheering. Plus, I'm kind of on Lachlan because he literally went into the coach's press conference after the game with his Virginia hat on, asking Chris Mack questions with his Virginia hat on. Yeah, so that's a bold move.
That's not bold.
That's kind of bold.
No, time out. Hold up. As many times as
That's
we've
kinda
been,
bold.
as many times we've been to Lexington and sat in that football press box, and everybody's wearing a UK gear. Even they come down here,
Yeah.
all the UK sportscast, they never take the UK gear off.
Yeah, but that's at UK. But
Even
like,
here,
when you're wearing the enemy's colors and then
even
you're
at
going in
Papa
there asking
John's-
questions.
Even at Papa John's, they got the UK gear on.
I mean, it just. Yeah, but them guys ain't coming into the coach's press conference either,
They
asking
don't
coach
care
no questions.
because they're winning. They don't care. They're like,
Lachlan's bold for that one. I don't know if I could do that. Be wearing the team's colors of the team that just beat my squad,
Hey.
and you gonna ask me questions? I would have called him out. I would have had to say something to
It
him.
is
Lex
what it
Luthor-
is.
I'd be like, next question.
Coach Mack is a friend of the show.
Absolutely,
He's very much a friend
absolutely.
of the show. So,
But hey,
more
there's a
down
lot to
south.
play for. So we'll have to see what happens on
Right.
Wednesday. We'll know where their heads at. If they can go out to Boston College and get a nice win, on the road in what's going to be a tough environment. Boston College, I'm sure that they felt like they could have got back in that game earlier if they would have went to the press earlier. So they're going to have a lot to play for.
But
so
Rocky's
so we'll
telling
see what
us
happens.
and there's 17 fans going to be hyped.
even
So-
if they drop these last 3 games, we're still in the
They're
tournament.
locked.
So we're
Louisville's
good.
locked for the tournament.
We're
Right.
locked.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
if we lose our last 4 games straight, we're locked.
We're good. The only thing we got to worry about is seeding.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, Louisville's still sitting on that 5-6 seed line.
Man.
They're somewhere between
How
the 5 and the
how
6
you
seed.
fool with it?
But
How you fool with it?
it can go up or down. It
That's
can
what
go
the
up or
old
down.
folks in my family used to say. How you fool with it? Like if you think so, 5 or 6 seed.
Right now, I'd say about a 5 or 6.
Okay.
I mean, and the thing you got to understand is, like I said, Louisville has as many elite resume wins as just about any team in the country. So
There's
while
only
they
two
don't
other
ha-
teams in this country that have more wins or top 10 teams.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing you got to understand. They have a ton of elite wins, and on top of that, they're playing against the 3rd toughest schedule in the country. So with them being able, if they can find a way to pull 20 wins out of that, it'd
Let
be
me say
amazing.
this. I hope you're right. I want to be out on Broadway on Easter Sunday going wild too because we made it to the Final Four.
I didn't say all that. I just said let's go make the tournament.
I want to kick over a trash can.
Oh wow!
Oh, look at you get all bold.
Going down my bike.
Hey,
Yeah,
I could use another miracle run like 2012. That would be great, but I'm not putting that on these boys.
No, it's not happening.
I'm definitely not putting that.
That's
on
not going to happen.
Who knows? VJ King's going to eat his vitamins and
That's going to happen. Unless Darius Perry comes out Superman and learns how to dribble and shoot.
Hey, I got a formula that can help him.
So
win.
somebody got Michael Secret stuff like Space Jam.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? Give him the
Hey,
squeezy bottle.
Coach Matt, you heard it here first, man. Picks and double picks for McMahon coming off of that screen.
I agree with that.
Let him drain it, dude. I'm telling you.
You know what? And that's probably been the biggest thing
day.
that I've had a complaint with, especially lately. And this is a Coach Mack thing, is that his players are not moving away. Guys off the basketball
They stand
are
there.
so inconsistent in moving without the ball and having that motion. The biggest thing about how to make a defense pay for any sort of like a zone principle type of defense or like what Syracuse does with the 2-3 and what the pack line with UVA is, when you have motion and screening and stuff away from the ball and you have that ball moving, you get the defense moving. If you're just standing there, and this has been the biggest issue, especially in second halves of these games, is that you have one guy dribbling and everybody just watching him, and there's nothing else going on. And this has happened over and over and over again. That's something they got to get worked out.
And you would kind of think that a guy who plays the pack line defense and knows the pack line defense would kind of know that, we need to keep
especially
moving.
how good he was up at Xavier. I mean, you think it would transfer to the ACC, right?
Yeah.
No.
No, you would think, but much better.
I wouldn't.
But his past couple of years at Xavier, he had much better talent than what he does here.
I mean,
and
I
plus,
don't know.
And plus, likes big, tall guards. So, and here he has
Well,
very short
the advantage
guards.
he had at Xavier is he had guys who had been in his system for 9 years. So they understood what they were looking for from him.
Also, he wasn't in the ACC. I think that helps a little bit.
Well, I mean, but the Big East has been good the last several years, especially while he was there. I mean, Villanova did win 2 of the last 3 titles, and the Big East had gotten at least 6 or 7 teams in the tournament. So, I mean, he was playing against good competition. So I think that when you have guys that have been in your system, you have upperclassmen. You had J.P. McCura. You had the other kid that's playing for the Pelicans. He had some good players, and they had been in his system. So it's going to take time. Like I said, Louisville was playing with borrowed money this time. It was all about just get to the tournament. I think that they're going to do that, and from there we just enjoy it. Like I said, just enjoy it. This is fun for me. At least Louisville is in the race. I cannot wait to see where they're at on Selection Sunday. They're going to go into the ACC tournament, hopefully get their first win as a part of the conference.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, hey, there's
Rick
plenty to look
Pitino
for.
never won an ACC game.
Never won an ACC tournament game.
And never beat a ranked team on the road.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Never beat a ranked team in the ACC on the road. Actually, no, a ranked team, period, on the road.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
David Paget did it.
Yeah, and so is Chris Mack.
Yeah.
But David Paget couldn't get to the tournament. I'm done, man. I ain't going to keep harping on it.
Yeah, you are. It's okay. We still love you, though.
Hey, dude, you don't support Cap no more. I don't know how I feel about you, man. Go on somewhere.
Hey,
and Cap got paid last week.
He got his money.
Cap got a jersey, too. He got his own Nike.
He's got a Nike Icon jersey coming out,
and
man.
he turned down the asked for $20 million for the AAF or the XFL. And they were like, "No, we good."
That's what's up.
There we go.
And our good friend Robert Kraft.
We're gonna say that for the next segment, y'all.
Wow.
Now finally things are gonna heat up on the show tonight. We're gonna talk about Robert Kraft being taken down in a prostitution sting.
With his happy ending.
On the next episode of Geraldo.
Right.
with the horrible mask.
Yeah.
With the mustaches falling off the sideways.
This man is a multi-billionaire, and he's out
well.
rounding up his own prostitutes.
That's your buddies to be there, do that for you.
Man, buddy, you should own the company that actually supplies the prostitutes.
No,
That's
called sex trafficking right there. See, see that's worse.
not in Vegas.
No, this is weed is just a misdemeanor. What
Not
you're
in
talking about is
Vegas.
like real time.
Right.
That's called enterprising.
Say no
in
to
Vegas.
human trafficking.
That's right. The Main Event Sports Show.
Yeah. Right.
That's
not
our
good.
PSA for the month.
That's right. Say no to sex trafficking. It's bad.
So if you all have any comments for anything ridiculous or otherwise that you heard, please leave comments. If you want to give shouts out to the women's team, talk about our seniors. Of course, Louisville will be having Senior Day for the men. For those long-term seniors, Kristen Cunningham and Quan Four and Okoye Gal, who's getting his double doctorate degree at this point at U of L.
They've just been in school forever.
Please leave comments. Make sure you check us out.
Hey, man, that's unfair, man. Why we going to hate on cats that's actually here to learn?
Hey, Okoye Gal is like my
What you
age.
doing? You trying to learn something?
Okoye said
doing here?
he said he got recruited by
Trying to get
Danny
your
Crumb.
Trying to get your
By
degree?
Pat
What's wrong with
Hickman.
you?
Right, you know what I'm saying?
You
So
ain't playing in the
brothers
pros yet,
got a
boy.
lot of paper. I can't hate on them. That's using the game to further yourself.
There
right
it is.
there.
Congratulations, brother. Get that piece of paper,
I'm
man.
telling you. So if you got any of those comments, make sure you check us out. Go to maineventsports101.com. You can also follow us online. Just go to the iPhone App Store or Google Play. Search keyword Main Event Sports. Check out the newsletter. Check out our photo galleries, videos, and many other things. And make sure you continue to support the Main Event Sports Show with our Patreon page and everything else that we do.
Rah.
Hey,
That's
No,
what's
you
up.
can't send it after that. Hold on.
No, we have to.
No, you can't.
We have to. Our
Do
tagline.
it.
We have our tagline, man.
there we go.
Without
Yeah.
any struggle.
Not at the end of a
There
segment.
is no progress.
Peace.
Peace.